Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. So glad you're here. If you're the kind of person who just loves tearing things apart to see exactly how they work, you are in the perfect place. Today, we are doing a deep dive into a massive, practically invisible ecosystem that totally dictates modern internet culture. We're looking at the anatomy of an absolute empire, YouTube. Okay, let's get right into it because the sheer scale of the mechanics running this platform is absolutely fascinating. To really appreciate where we are today, we have to look back at how this whole thing started. Picture this. It's early 2005, and YouTube's original concept was actually an online dating service called Tune In, Hook Up. No joke. The founders, Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, and Jawed Karim, built a dating platform where people could upload videos of themselves to find a match. And it completely failed. Nobody wanted it. But they realized they had inadvertently built an exceptionally smooth video uploading and playback tool. When they stripped away the dating gimmick and just pivoted to a general video sharing site, well, everything changed.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to hit 4 main stops: the accidental video empire, fueling the creator economy, under the hood with the API, and finally, the generative AI era. Let's get to it.
Part 1. The Accidental Video Empire. It is honestly wild to look back at the timeline here. This is classic mid-2000s hypergrowth. April 2005, co-founder Jawed Karim uploads the very first video, a totally mundane 18-second clip called Me at the Zoo. Literally, just a guy looking at elephants. Flash forward barely over a year to November 2006, and Google buys the platform for $1.65 billion. Billion, with a B. Think about that gap. And then, the real catalyst hits in 2007 when they launch the partner program, fundamentally changing the internet by actually letting everyday folks make money off their uploads. The crucial takeaway here is the insane scale. Back in 2005, this whole operation was being run out of a makeshift office squished right above a pizzeria and a Japanese restaurant in San Mateo, California. Today, the platform serves over 2 billion global viewers every single month, spanning more than 100 different countries. It leaped from a scrappy, pizza-scented startup to the second most popular website in the entire world, trailing only behind Google itself.
Moving on to part 2, fueling the creator economy.
Okay, I really want you to let this number sink in for a second. $32 billion. According to recent reports, that's the amount paid out globally to creators, artists, and media companies in 2024 alone. This isn't just a bit of pocket change for viral clips anymore. We are talking about the GDP of a small country being distributed directly to independent digital creators all over the world. How did they get there? Well, back in 2007, they had this completely radical idea. Instead of hoarding all the ad money like a traditional TV network would, they decided to share the wealth. They set up a 55-45 revenue split, meaning 55% goes straight into the creators' pockets, while the remaining 45% goes back into keeping the platform's infrastructure running. This single decision totally broke down the old gatekeeping walls and basically invented the modern creator career.
And today, it's way more than just sitting through a pre-roll ad. For the 3 million plus folks currently making a living here, there are actually 10 distinct ways to get paid. Sure, you've got your standard ads and a cut from premium subscriptions, but now we're talking direct fan funding. Stuff like Super Chat, Super Thanks, memberships, throw in selling merchandise through shopping, or even integrating ticketing for live events. It is a highly diversified digital portfolio. And here is why this is absolutely crucial. More than half of the platform's top earners, we're talking the ones pulling in 5 figures or more, now rely on revenue streams completely outside of traditional ads. They aren't just crossing their fingers hoping ad rates stay high anymore. They are building incredibly resilient, direct-to-consumer businesses. They've essentially evolved into the next generation of independent media empires.
All right, part 3, under the hood API.
Let's geek out for a second and look past the videos. The real secret sauce making this whole ecosystem hum is the YouTube Data API. If you aren't familiar, an API is basically a bridge. It lets 2 entirely different pieces of software talk to each other. This specific API lets external developers rip YouTube features like video playback, search, or playlists and embed them straight into their own apps and websites. And it transfers all this data using JSON objects, which are super lightweight and easy for machines to read. This invisible infrastructure is exactly why YouTube feels literally ubiquitous across the internet.
Now, developers interact with all this data using standard HTTP methods. Think of these as standard commands.
You use get to retrieve info, post to add something new, put to update it, and delete to, well, delete it. But there are rules, right? For instance, with user activities, like someone giving a video a thumbs up, a developer can only use the get method to look at it. They can't change it. But for something like playlists or captions, if they have the proper permissions, they can use all 4 commands to completely manage it remotely. It's a very neat, highly structured puzzle. But wait, obviously we can't just have random people on the internet deleting each other's videos, right? Security is everything here. If an app wants to modify data or access your private info, it has to jump through a super strict authentication loop. First up, the app has to provide an OAuth 2.0 token. Think of that like a digital VIP pass, proving you actually granted them permission. Then that token gets sent over via an HTTP authorization header. Only after all that checks out does the request actually execute. So the ecosystem stays totally open for developers while your personal data stays locked down tight. Which brings us to part 4, the generative AI era. We are standing at a massive, massive inflection point right now. Just like the jump from cable TV to streaming totally flipped the script, generative AI is radically rewriting how content is made. And for creators, time literally is money. A recent global survey found that 29% of creators say their #1 reason for using Gen AI is simply to save time. These tools act as massive workflow cheat codes. We're talking tasks that used to eat up hours, generating rough cuts, writing captions, organizing endless footage, now taking minutes. It frees people up to focus on the actual creative spark instead of drowning in the mechanics of production. But there is a really fascinating tension in the numbers right now. A whopping 92% of creators surveyed are already using Gen AI tools in some capacity, and 89% of them say it straight up boosts their visual quality. But check this out. Even with all that near universal enthusiasm, 74% are actively demanding ethical guidelines for responsibly posting AI-generated content. They see the incredible upside for sure, but they are incredibly hyper-aware of the potential for misuse. And honestly, this right here is why AI is such a huge deal for the platform. It is the ultimate equalizer. Back in the day, if you wanted cinematic special effects or if you wanted to dub your video into 10 different languages to reach a global audience, you needed a giant Hollywood studio budget and a massive crew. Not anymore. Today, a solo creator working right out of their bedroom can use AI-driven dubbing, automated translations, and visual enhancements to completely level up their output. It's erasing traditional language barriers and totally flattening the playing field. All of this brings us to YouTube's stated guiding philosophy for the AI era: fuel human creativity, not replace it. The goal isn't to just have bots spinning out endless videos for us. It's about giving humans completely unprecedented tools to pull off their wildest ideas. So, as we watch this multi-billion-dollar juggernaut keep evolving from that weird failed dating site, we really have to wonder, as these tools get even faster and smarter, what entirely new formats of entertainment are we going to see pop up next? And how is it going to fundamentally change the way you interact with the digital world? Definitely something to think about. Thank you so much for joining me on today's Explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.